Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we heading? These are some of the biggest questions that people from all walks of life and disciplines are trying to answer. One way to get closer to these answers is to study the universe. Think about your home address. Where does it end? It ends at the mention of your city and PIN code. Broaden your horizon a bit and think about the state that you live in, then your country, and then the world as we know it. The Earth is humanity's home address, and the solar system is the home we share with 8 planets that make the solar system, situated in the Milky Way galaxy. Before we get to know the solar system, our address in the Milky Way, let's get to know our celestial neighbor, the Moon. What do I mean by celestial? This is what the night sky will look like if you're away from the city. Those objects that seem to twinkle are stars, and those that don't are planets. The brightest object in the observable night sky is our Moon. The stars, the planets, the Moon, and many other objects in the sky are called celestial objects. Let me introduce you to our neighbor, the Moon. If you've observed the Moon, you'll notice that its shape changes. The day on which the whole disk of the Moon is visible is known as full moon day. After the full moon day, the bright part of the Moon appears thinner and thinner with each passing day. On the 15th day, the Moon is not visible. This day is known as the new moon day. After the new moon day, a thin and curved part of the Moon becomes visible. The visible part of the Moon appears brighter and brighter with each day from then until the 15th day, the full moon day. These various shapes of the bright part of the Moon observed in the night sky are called the phases of the Moon. The time it takes from one full moon to the next full moon is slightly longer than 29 days. This time period is called a month in many calendars. The words month and moon have the same origin, so the phases of the Moon serve as a unit of time on Earth. The Moon's surface is as fascinating as it appears from Earth, but dry, dusty, and with many deep craters and tall mountains all over. The gravitational pull on Moon is only 1/6 that of the Earth. Yes, wouldn't it be such a thrill playing a game of football on the Moon? But mind you, there is neither water nor any atmosphere on the Moon. Having second thoughts? The stars. Possibly the much talked about and adored celestial objects are the stars. On a new moon night, far away from the city lights, you may have had your aha moment watching billions and billions of stars across the sky, and when you looked at them a little longer, you would have realized they each are of different brightness, size, and even color, and at daybreak they all soon seem to vanish. Well, they are very much there, but just drowned in the brightness of our very own star, the Sun. The positions of the stars relative to each other do not seem to change. However, the entire carpet of stars seems to move across the sky from east to west. Yes, that's because our Earth keeps rotating from west to east. However, one star, the pole star, is seen in the same position always, being close to the axis of the Earth's rotation above the North Pole. Groups of stars called constellations have been named by ancient cultures like India and Greece with mythological stories woven around them. Identifying constellations and tracking their path across the sky in different months can be awesomely interesting. One of the most popular one is Ursa Major, or Great Bear, which is seen in summers. It's also called the Big Dipper, given the shape of a container with a handle as traced by the imaginary lines connecting the stars in its constellation. A constellation found in the winter evening sky is Orion. Known also as the Hunter, it is very large and easily identifiable with the line of 3 stars in the middle forming the belt of the Hunter pointing towards one of our brightest stars, Sirius. Cassiopeia is another early winter night constellation that is unmistaken by its distorted W shape. Stars in any constellation are not equally distant from the Earth. In fact, they are all so far that their light takes years to reach Earth. Indeed, the stars we see today are the ones that have existed years ago.